Welcome back, friends. iRelat here with a relationship Reddit story about a guy who learned his wife wasn't the woman he thought she was. So he says, "This is horrible. I'm furious right now and also depressed. I know what I have to do, but I can't believe I have to do it. This is all fresh and it still hurts a lot. My wife didn't come home last night. She went out with a couple of girlfriends, which is pretty normal for her. She's normally back around 2 a.m. on these nights, so I waited up. Around 2:30, I called to check in. She answered and I could hear people in the background. She told me they went to a party and were leaving in a couple of minutes, but she wasn't home by 3, so I texted. It delivered, but there was no reply. Around 4 a.m. I called again. It rang a couple times, but then she sent me to voicemail. My wife finally came home stumbling through the door at 6:47 this morning. I know the exact time because I was worried. She was wearing a dress that she didn't leave the house in with mesh leggings that I've never seen either. The leggings had clearly been torn and her makeup was smudged. Oh man, this does not sound good. My heart sank when I saw her. My immediate worry was that she'd been assaulted. She only shook her head no when I asked her that. See, we have all these women in society acting like men are so terrible, dangerous, and emotionally unavailable. Meanwhile, here's a guy who actually gave a woman his heart, committed to her, and what does he get for his effort? He's sitting at home waiting on his wife to get done partying, and it doesn't sound like this is the first time it's happened. According to him, she usually shows up at 2 a.m. This time, she just happened to stay out later. I mean, what kind of wife is out partying till 2 a.m. on the reg? Then when she arrives, his first worry is that she was attacked by one of these men that you constantly hear about who are so terrible, when in reality she was just out doing her thing, not giving a thought about him. Emphasis on the word thought. So he says, I asked her, "What have you been doing then?" She only said that I knew what she'd been doing, and that kind of confirmed what the voice in the back of my head had been screaming since she walked in. My wife cheated on me last night. Good lord, she didn't even try to hide it. I asked her who it was. She shrugged almost casually and said it was somebody they met at the club. She went back to his house and hooked up with him, then Ubered home. Then she said she didn't want to fight and just wanted to sleep. Okay.
Honey, can we please fight about this later? I'm really wore out.
The audacity of this woman. Stories like this are why a lot of guys won't stay with a girl who likes to go out and party, and then they're called insecure, controlling, every name in the book. So he says she's still asleep now and didn't even take a shower before passing out. Ugh, she stinks. Suffice to say, our relationship is over. We don't have any kids and we rent, so it shouldn't be a very complicated process. I keep trying to reason myself out of it, pretending there might be some salvage here. I've always maintained that cheating would be a red line though, and I think I need to stick with it. Bro, you definitely need to stick with it. What are you thinking? So then he posted an update. He actually posted two, and the first one was just kind of a short summary, but I thought I would mention it because it's funny that at the end he says, "Also, to the woman who felt compelled to send me a topless picture, thanks but no thanks. My heart just isn't in that sort of place right now." Come on, man, your heart's always in the right place for nudes. Then some woman down in the comments says, "Ah yes, you see someone clearly upset and going through something horrible, and the logical way to go about it? Sending them nudes. I'm sorry you have to deal with that, OP. Sounds pretty logical to me." But this is how women on Reddit think. It's like, he's not a woman and this isn't a D-pic. Just because he doesn't care about it doesn't mean he's offended. And he actually replied and said, "I'm sure it was well-intentioned. Definitely not where my head is right now, though. Was just surprising, LOL." See, this is the difference between men and women right here. Women are disgusted by unsolicited D-pics, but men are just like, it was a nice gesture, but I'll pass. So in the update he says, "I think I went through every stage of grief while my soon-to-be ex was still sleeping." Well, that was fast. "I wasn't expecting my post to get any attention at all. I just figured I needed to try to talk to someone about it because I was not in a good headspace. I made the post in the morning and by noon she was still conked out in the bedroom. I guess club guy really gave it to her, huh? I made a plan and a short list of questions I wanted answers to, gathered up all my important documents, laptop, etc. Then I went into the bedroom and started packing my suitcase. I know a lot of folks wanted me to kick her out. I did consider it, but honestly, I'm not overly attached to this place. We just rent it, and I'm in a lucky enough situation to be able to say that paying half of the rent for a few months isn't going to financially end me." Hey, well that's good. "Being around this place is only going to remind me of her anyway, and I need to be looking forward." True, my friend, very true. I like where your head is. "She ended up waking up about halfway through me packing my stuff. There was momentary confusion as she looked around the room, and then she just started bawling." Oh, here we go. This is where they always go. After they do something wrong, they want to start crying and try to get sympathy. Give me a break. "Maybe this is awful of me, but I didn't bother comforting her." Bro, no. It's not awful of you. She's awful, and this is exactly the way she wants you to feel. Men don't always have to act like gentlemen, especially when their woman is being anything but a lady. You did right. I told her I had the screenshots of her Uber and text messages on her phone, and that plus her confirmation was enough that things between us were completely done. She didn't answer me and just cried louder. I debated trying to continue the conversation, but I decided to just pack the rest of my suitcase and head back out to the living room until she came out. Right on, bro. That's what you do. When she finally left the bedroom, she sat next to me on the couch and asked if we could talk things through. What? Talk things through? She went out and got railed all night, and then she came home and told you know exactly what happened and went to bed not caring a bit. Talk things through. I told her as calmly as possible that wasn't how things were gonna work. I was gonna ask questions and wanted honest answers. She told me she'd be honest, so I proceeded. So was this the first time you ever cheated? She started crying before she answered, then told me no. She'd cheated on me multiple times over the course of our relationship. How did I know that was going to be her answer? And this whole crying shtick that women put on when they get caught or admit to doing something that they shouldn't have is pathetic. They always try to turn themselves somehow into the victim when they're the ones screwing over their husbands. And just like this guy said a moment ago, sympathy is what they're after. It's mind-boggling. And that's why you got to do exactly what this guy did. No thanks, not falling for it. But you can even see here, he kind of felt bad that he didn't give into it, because he's probably a good guy, which is also probably why she cheated on him. And this is why so many men don't behave like good guys, at least not the smart ones. They know off the rip that this is what being chivalrous, soft, and in the girl's eyes boring will get you. And for the rest of the guys like him who have this kind of thing happen to them, they then go on to stop being nice guys and women want to complain. So how about speaking up and holding your women friends accountable, ladies, and we won't have so many men like this out there who are quote unquote emotionally unavailable. So he says, it was, and I'm going to use her exact words here, just sex and a way for me to let off steam. None of it really ever meant anything. Oh, it meant something. Something about you that I'm sure you wouldn't admit. I made a comment shortly after writing my post that all the love couldn't just fade away in one swoop. Well, it can. It hit me right then that I wasn't dealing with my wife. The person I married literally wasn't even in the room. This was someone different. She refused to tell me exactly how many times she cheated, just said it was more than last night. It was a lot more, my friend. A lot more. The crazy thing is that she knew this was going to ruin her relationship, and she just kept dropping clues, going out night after night and doing this behind his back, thinking eventually he would catch on, and when he didn't, she finally decided to just come home and throw it right in his face. This is what a trusting, naive husband gets. And this is exactly why, like I said in the beginning, you don't marry women who want to go out till 2 in the morning with their girlfriends on the reg. No, that doesn't make you insecure or controlling. These are just things that women tell men to shame men into letting them get away with whatever they want, including going out all night and meeting other guys at the club. Women who exhibit these types of behaviors almost always end up doing what this guy's wife did. And funny I should happen to say that because here's the next question. Were your friends also cheating on their spouses? Yes and no. I tried to get her to tell me which of her friends were cheating so I could get in contact with their husbands. She probably should have, because her refusal led me to messaging pretty much all of them. There were a couple I don't know or couldn't find, but I did my part. Good for this guy. Then he asks her, well, why did you do it? And he says, this is the answer that gutted me the most. I'm gonna use her exact words again. She said, I need to have sexual variety. I told her it's not like our sex life is dull. She clarified, it's not the same as something new. I didn't even have a response for that. Here's one. I expected something about me working too much or not supporting her emotionally. Nope, she just fucked other guys because she felt like it and wanted to have some fun. Oh man. When I didn't respond, she started asking me about counseling and therapy. Yeah, like that's gonna fix the problem. I reiterated that our relationship was over. What she did next disgusted me. She actually tried to sleep with me then. She put her hands on me and started trying to take my shirt off. I felt like I wanted to vomit and pushed her away after a couple of seconds. No kidding. She never even showered. She just kept telling me that she would figure out a way to fix it, that we could work through it together. I told her there was no way, and she started babbling again. She went to the bathroom and then locked herself inside. Did she get in the tub finally? I guaranteed this woman wanted to see how far she could push her husband. So like I said before, she probably tried other ways for him to figure out what she was doing, and this was her way of just coming right out and saying it, hoping that maybe he would agree to working things through so that she could stay with him and continue to do whatever she wanted. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Most of the time, women won't end a relationship. They'll just go do whatever they want, see how you're gonna handle it, and if you agree to work it out, well then they know exactly where you stand and how much you're willing to put up with. Then they can just continue rolling over you, having their cake and eating it too. So he says, I was just so sick of everything at that point. I called her mom and told her what happened. I have a very good relationship with her parents. They both decided to drive into town, which is about an hour away. Once I knew someone was on their way here, I just grabbed my things and left. Her waterworks in the bathroom were just annoying because it felt hollow to me, especially given the answers to my questions. I ended up packing up another bag before I left and took all the things I could that I felt I had a sentimental attachment to. I sat in my car and tried to contact a buddy to crash with. Then when her parents arrived, she started calling me. I didn't answer her call, so she started texting, and she went from sad and crying to furious. Apparently, I'm the effing piece of crap for telling her mom everything. Whoops, not sorry. Good lord, this guy should be happy to get away from this person. I got about 100 texts from her, ranging everything from calling me names to begging me to come back, then sending me pictures of the food she ate for some reason. Even when the relationships are falling apart, women want to take pictures of their food. I haven't responded at all. I said my piece before leaving. I'm crashing at a friend's place for now, and I'm finding a new place to rent. I'm also contacting a divorce attorney. Well, good for this guy for standing up, not taking any more crap. But what do you think about this situation? Let us know in the comments, and thanks to everyone who subscribed, click like, or shared this video. If you want to contact me, my info will be in the description. Please respond positively to any surveys you see about this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.